How do you do, my people? Welcome back to Books Aloud. I am your host Vishakha. So this week I started 4-Hour Work Week by Timothy Ferriss. I liked the book and it has got a lot to learn. Now, Tim in the book is talking about how one can escape the 9 to 5 work routine and live a life that they really want to. I'll be sharing the best 5 learnings here, so stay tuned. So the very first learning that I want to share with you guys is avoid being overloaded with information. Now, in today's world, we live our lives surrounded by information. There is data coming to us from literally everywhere. We get information from the internet, through computers, smartphones, tablets, television, Instagram, whatnot. Now, with so much of information flowing through our lives, it is easy for us to miss out on something important which is occurring around us. Let's say, for example, if a parent is really focused and is super busy in their work, then they might miss what are the first words that their baby spoke. What was the time when the baby took the first steps. You can miss something important like that as well. Take me for an example. I also get so engrossed into my Bookstagram account that sometimes I even miss what my brother or mother is even talking, which is bad. I know. I'm going to change it. I'm going to improve on it. I promise. So the overload of information flowing into our lives causes us to lose focus on what is important, what really means to us. Now, this means that we have to shut off the social media or the television, email for some time during our day so that we can find time to do something which is really important for us, which adds value to us. Like you can either read a book, you can water plants, you can cook, you can dance, sing, whatever. That is up to you. So all I'm trying to say is that you cannot control the amount of information which is flowing, but you can control the amount of information that you absorb. You can choose which information you want your mind to capture, which information you want to ignore. So if we have the right to choose, if we are capable of choosing, let's make that choice, shall we? Another learning which is very similar to the first one is live a proactive lifestyle instead of a reactive one. So majority of us today normally sit at our desk all day with the email inbox open. The moment an email comes in, we sit right up and immediately try to respond to it. And if there is a work to be done as a result of that email, we immediately stop all that we were doing and we begin working on the new task. In this way, the email has totally hijacked our brain and made you switch from the earlier task. Email is not even the only source of the information. We have social media sites, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. These are the new sources of information that we have these days. We become reactive instead of purposing to do what we really desire. We were doing a task earlier, but then social media jumped in and hijacked your earlier task. Let's say, for example, sometimes when I read book, I get a notification on my cell phone. I just try to take a small peek, see what exactly has come, and then I end up answering like 7 to 8 comments and 15 minutes go right by. So I have switched from book reading to social media. Tim is only trying to say that if you are sticking to a task, stick to it. Do not live a reactive life by getting hijacked by other tasks and forget about the task that you were doing earlier, because this decreases the productivity. Tim also says that he checks his emails once a week. Okay, let's get reality straightened out. We don't want to reach there, but we can try to reduce it. Don't you think we can surely try to limit our time? And I am going to implement it in my life. I am going to set a time at which I am active on Instagram, I am active on my email, and that is the time which I am going to spend on it. and the emails and the DMs which come later on, I think I'll have to deal with them later when the time comes again. So the third learning that I would like to share with you guys is boost your effectiveness by outsourcing tasks in your schedule. So the goal of many professionals today is to constantly increase one's effectiveness in day-to-day life. Tim says that you can achieve this by delegating small responsibilities in your life to other people. This will allow you to focus your energy on more important activities that you have to do. And thanks to modern technology, that you can outsource some of your day-to-day tasks to virtual assistants as well. Alexa, for example. Now, I also used to fall into trap of doing everything by myself, but now that I have read this book and I have understood what are the benefits of delegating tasks, I'm sure that I'm going to change and improve on it. Now, people say that I cleaned my whole house. It took me 1 day to clean. Oh my God. I'm sure that you could have used that 1 day in a better manner if you would have delegated that cleaning task to somebody else. This is just an example that I'm giving you. But if we look at CEOs, if we look at big shots, most of them have a car driver. Why do they have a car driver? Just because of luxury? No. Because when they go to office in the car, they do tasks which are more important to them. They check their emails, they read newspaper, they listen to news, they either read a book or even have a client meeting in the car. So they are utilizing that time in a better manner rather than just driving to office. Alright, so the fourth learning that I want to share with you guys is live your ideal life today. Many people today live their lives dragging away at a 9-to-5 job with the hope of saving enough money for their retirement fund, including me. So that when we turn 55, we can go for a holiday, when we have enough amount of money, we can live the kind of life we want. But is that the right thinking? What we don't realize is that the efforts that we are putting in may not even be able to create that kind of money that we really want to live the life at the age of 55. Moreover, we also don't think that what if we do not live long enough to enjoy it? Because anything can happen, right? We never know with COVID and all coming in. Let me give you a very personal example for this. Now, in the month of March, I planned a solo trip. That was my first solo trip. It was for Gokarna. My bus was supposed to leave on 28th March. But because of COVID, India had a nationwide lockdown, because of which obviously I could not go. And till today, I have not done a solo trip. Now what I feel is, now sitting here giving the podcast, what do I feel? I feel that why did I not plan this trip before? What was I waiting for? Was I waiting for my bank balance to become X and then plan a trip? Is that the right way to do things? I am not sure. It doesn't sound right to me. So going for vacations, taking time off, relaxing, it's like recharging your body. It's just like how you recharge cell phones. So if you do not recharge a cell phone, it will not work. After like say 4 days, 5 days, if you don't recharge it at all, it will fall dead of battery. Same thing can happen with your body as well. So taking vacations, taking time off, relaxing and doing what you actually want to do at the moment, it increases the quality of your life. Take it as an investment because it allows you to enjoy the fruit of labor that you have been doing. So keep taking those tiny vacations, keep doing what excites you, keep being adventurous, do what you feel should be your ideal life. Live your ideal life today. The last and the fifth learning that I want to share with you guys is focus on the 20%. Now, we have all heard about the 80-20 rule, which basically tells us that 20% of what we do accounts for 80% of the results that we get. So always ask yourselves these two questions. First one, which 20% of the sources are responsible for 80% of my problems and unhappiness? Second, which 20% of the sources are resulting in 80% of my happiness? Once you find this out, you can try and eliminate. Now I'm saying try and eliminate. I'm not asking you to eliminate it right away, even if it is not possible for you or you don't want to. You don't want to give up on your job and say, Vishaka asked me to remove things which cause unhappiness and I'm quitting my job. No, don't do that. You have to analyze all the factors. You have to take change slow. So any change which you're causing in your life, let it be good change. It's habit building, it is habit of saving, it's exercising, it's eating the right food, it's book reading, it is singing, dancing. Take anything under the sun. Everything goes slow. Do not try to make changes instant. There is no instant solution to anything. Everything takes their own time. So once you find out what is the 20% of the sources that are resulting 80% of my happiness, do not let them go. If it is your work that you're happy about, don't let it go. If you like book reading, do not quit. If you like exercising, don't quit on it. So you have to preserve those 20% of the sources which cause 80% of the happiness. And the first point, which is the 20% of the sources which are responsible for 80% of your problems and unhappiness, one by one you have to start removing those from your life. And that change is a slow change. It is not an instant change. If you're not happy with your job, find a side hustle. Is there something that you're good at? Find things you're passionate about. Try and explore your areas before you quit on your job. So eliminating these tasks and things which cause unhappiness will help you declutter your mind and space around you, so that you can focus on the important things which are there around you. So I hope that these 5 learnings were helpful for you, and I will come up with a different book and the learnings from it. Till then, sayonara.